Nothing keeps you up at night like the fear that you're wasting your life. This unease begins in your 20s and then worsens as you move into your 30s and 40s and fail to hit the milestones you thought you would. When you don't get monetized on YouTube, when you don't find your partner, when you haven't had children yet, and when you still can't afford a house, nothing is more terrifying than stagnation. We all want to feel like we're moving forward. Some of us wish we could move faster, or even that things are happening too fast. For me, I remind myself that going slowly is better than not going at all. Progress is progress, and that brings me a lot of comfort when I average 10 subscribers a month on YouTube. But sometimes we go so slow, we don't feel like we're moving at all. And that's when I struggle. When you break up with the third person, you feel you've wasted the last 7 years of your life dating, that you're no closer to finding the right person than you were then. And when you see other people seemingly moving forward, you start to wonder if there's something wrong with you. You start to think that if it was meant to happen, it would have happened already. You internalize the belief that certain dreams are meant for others, that they were never in the cards for you, because you're not charismatic enough, you're not smart enough, pretty enough to achieve your dreams. I could be talking about dating, but this also applies to running a YouTube channel. It applies to trying to save money for a home. In 10 years, you might save $30,000, but by then, the homes you were looking at are $200,000 more expensive. All your life, you feel you're playing catch up with others and with yourself. No matter how hard you try, it can feel like you're wasting your time. Even in my 20s, I've developed an impending sense of mortality. Even if I'm lucky enough to live to 100, I'm a quarter through my life. If I live into my 90s, I'm a third through it. If I get cancer when I'm 50 or develop some freak illness, I could be halfway through my life. Regardless of when I go, I know I have to go. Death seems more real to me every day. And though it's far away, I hope, it's there, it's waiting, which means there's this pressure to make the most of my life, to do and accomplish everything I can. There's this sense that if I can't monetize a YouTube channel, I wasn't enough. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't beautiful enough. I wasn't good enough. Otherwise, I would have succeeded. If I was funnier, prettier, cleverer, I wouldn't have wasted my life. My greatest fear is that I'll stick with my channels over the next 20 years, only to wake up one day and realize I've wasted all that time. I'll have this epiphany that I devoted 2 decades of my life just so I could make $200 in AdSense every month, and I'll mourn all that time I could have spent with family and friends, or developing a skill or passion that would have meant more. We're constantly afraid of making the right choice, and until then, I won't know if my devotion to my channels was wrong. Thus far, I have no regrets, but if my channels came at the expense of falling in love or starting a family, then absolutely I would feel I wasted my life. I know that when it comes to certain things, to everything really, I can't wait forever. If after a decade it's obvious my channels aren't going anywhere, I'll have to walk away. Sometimes it's healthier to give up on your dreams, especially if they're impeding your other dreams. That doesn't mean I'll want to give up, but for practical reasons, I may have to. I've seen countless talented creators leave this platform despite their passion for it because it took time from their children and burned them out after working a full-time job. My belief is that as long as something is adding to your life, you aren't wasting time. But I'm in my 20s. What's meaningful to me now might feel trivial or shallow when I'm 10 years older. When I'm 35, I might see YouTube as a major time sink that never went anywhere. And then I'll be angry at all those gurus who told me I just had to keep trying, or it might be the best thing that ever happened to me. I could be rolling in sponsorships and taking vacations at my beachside property. I could be running a completely new channel alongside the love of my life. Or my channels could be making a modest income, and I'll dial back production because my kids are more important. We can't see the future. Of course, I wouldn't want to. After all, there is a guarantee of good and bad in my future, and I don't want the latter looming over me. If I'm meant to face some tragedy in my 30s, I can't be anticipating it now. Still, we try to guess at the future, and so many of our decisions and thoughts are motivated by fear. Fear we won't meet the one. Fear we won't find success even with hard work. Fear we'll never own a home. And fear we aren't enough. That we'll never be enough. When we don't move as quickly as we thought we would, the fear creeps in. We start thinking we never will achieve our dreams. When I was a teenager, my greatest fear was that I would give up. I saw myself on my deathbed, full of regret because I never tried. Now my fear is that I'll try too hard. My regret will be that I didn't know when to walk away, that I wasted so much time chasing the impossible. My greatest fear is that I'm delusional, that I am wasting time, wasting my life's finite hours trying to achieve that which is impossible for me. My determination to monetize my YouTube channels, to create a healthy income stream from my art, to sell novels. I'm naive to want those things, and 10 years from now, I'll regret wasting so much time trying to achieve the impossible. Because if I was charismatic and beautiful and smart, I'd have achieved those things already. People who have been doing this for half as long as I have are already earning 6 figures, so they must have something I don't and will never have. They were destined to succeed, and I'm kidding myself if I think I could be anything like them. Those are the thoughts that race through my head when, after 3 years of work, I only get 6 subscribers in a month. I seriously question my use of time. I start asking myself if this is worth it, if I'm just being delusional or stubborn about my chances of success. It's one thing to commit 10 years to something, but what then? If after 10 years I'm still failing, is that a sign to walk away? That I'm trying too hard and any further effort will be a further waste of my precious time? I don't know. I won't have the answer to this question for another decade. What I do know is that most people move slowly, especially in the beginning. 3 years of trying is really nothing. And those who succeed in less than a year, who monetize after 3 months or meet the love of their life on their first date, are the exception rather than the rule. Yet I like to believe that everyone with prolonged effort achieves something. It might not be as much as we were expecting, but it will be something. Your effort will mean something, however small. And in that sense, no time is truly wasted. There are many days where I feel like I'm wasting my time. But then I look at how far I've come. On my first channel, I'm more than halfway to having that coveted 1,000. Even if I do quit eventually, I at least want to hit that milestone, just so I can say I did. Because whether it happens for you in 4 months or 4 years, that means something. It might mean you're talented or hardworking, but it also means when your progress is slow like mine, that you're determined, that you're not someone who gives up. It means you've achieved something 90% of people on this platform haven't. In even making a channel, you've done something important. You've started, which is more than many can say. Most will dream, but will never make the attempt. I might walk away from my channels. I might, after years of dating, fail to meet someone. But I'll come away with life lessons. I'll grow and learn, and in that sense, the time won't be wasted. Our goals aren't linear, but in many ways, we're always making progress. I might not make above 10 subscribers in a month, but I'm gaining subscribers all the same. And in that time, I'm building a library, something my future kids can look back on. I'm creating a history of my life. I'm creating period, which is something too many people have forgotten how to do. I'm making things, books, drawings, and videos. Then I'm sharing them, an act of courage in itself. When I look at it like that, I'm not wasting my time, because the act of learning, evolving, and growing is never a waste. Plus, I enjoy the work I do. I take pride in my videos. The very act of writing the script and recording is satisfying. And there's a saying, time you enjoyed wasting is not time wasted. There's a reason I never feel guilty when I spend hours on a video game. I don't accuse myself of being lazy because I chose to spend the day reading books and watching movies. I enjoyed every minute of the fun I permitted myself, and that's what counts. If I am going to die someday, I want to enjoy the here and now. If I walk away from my channels in the future, I hope it's because I've found something more meaningful to take their place. Because sometimes we need to shelve things we once loved for things that are better. And in doing so, it's my hope I don't regret the time I wasted building my channels because of what they taught me, not only in general, but about myself. I know this channel has already been invaluable to me just because of the self-reflection it's allowed me. I've learned so much about myself just from scripting these videos, and that's why, regardless of how the channel does, it's not a waste of time. It adds something to my life, and if it doesn't add something to yours, that doesn't make it less important. We all feel like we're wasting our lives. It's a fear that only worsens as we age because we hit this magical point where death becomes real. And with that acceptance comes the pressure to make the most of our time. Yet we lose sight of what's important, driven by our fears and ambitions. If you talked to a friend this week, made plans to see a family member, or walked through a forest, can you say you're wasting your life? If in this moment you're happy, can you say you're wasting your time? I don't have the answers for you, but I know how you feel. I worry every day that I'm wasting my life, that I won't meet someone, that my artistic attempts will all be flops, and that this channel will die before it started. I'll never have a child, and I'll die alone in some retirement home without anyone to visit me or anyone who remembers my name. My life will be wasted. I will always have that fear. In fact, even if I experience some measure of success, it will never be enough. I'll worry about losing the progress I've made, or that I could have done even more. It's human nature to want what we can't have. Enough is never enough, and we lose sight of what's important. As a child, I never felt like I was wasting my life. My early years are a blur of birthday parties, relatives, and nature. In my past, I see beaches, forests, lakes, rivers, and mountains. There are swimming pools, and movie theaters, and barbecues. There are sleepovers with friends, friends made and lost and kept. There are amazing books, hot days, and hours spent wandering through libraries and thrift shops. In my childhood, there was everything. Relatives I'll have for years to come, relatives I know I must lose soon, and relatives I have lost already. As a kid, I knew how not to waste time. I made lists of things to do, like I do now, but they weren't career goals. My lists weren't record X amount of videos or write 2 chapters of my book. Back then, my lists were go to the river, visit the thrift store, and see my great uncle. My lists were people and places because I knew before society taught me otherwise what mattered. And I was happy then, euphoric almost. Somehow, my 10-year-old self knew better than my 20-year-old self what was important. As long as I see my family, touch grass, read books, and love those closest to me, my life will never be wasted. As long as I cherish my parents or take days to go huckleberry picking, my channels won't matter. They can crash and burn, but I'll have everything in the world if I remember what my inner child already knows. That doesn't mean I won't still worry about the future or feel like I'm wasting my time. But if I can remember what makes life worth living in the first place, maybe wasting my life will be impossible.